welcome back to another episode of Couch Fridays with me, Summer Nosuke, also known as Summer, and...
Me, Ointment Fly, also known as Anderson.
Yay! We're back for our last episode on The Last of Us Part 2.
Yes, finale.
Dun dun dun!
Yep, we finally reached the end of the journey.
We did it! It took long enough, but we did it, y'all.
It has been a ride.
It has. But before we get into it, I would just go ahead and tell everyone, spoiler alert! That we're most likely going to drop some spoilers by accident.
Get out.
We're going to try our best not to, but there probably will be some. So it's just best to let you know ahead of time that we love you. But you got to go.
Go.
Okay? Okay, we good.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Let's get into it. So we spent a good chunk of our time discussing this movie, discussing how much we loved it.
This game.
Gang, movie, part of my life is what it's become. You're right. For me, it was like a movie because I didn't play it. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
I got to watch it from beginning to end as if it played out.
Backseat drive.
Yeah, I did a lot of that. Don't judge me, but I'm okay with it if you do.
You gotta switch your gun! You gotta switch your gun!
You must like dying, huh? Sorry. But it was fun. Yay! Love you.
Love you too.
Thanks. But we've talked about how much we love this game and how much we want you to buy it even though we didn't finish it or why you should buy it. But I don't think it was balanced enough. So we're going to start off today talking about, a few things we weren't really happy about with this game and what we could have done without and such.
Didn't love it.
Yes.
The things, that is.
The things. The game was great.
I still love the game.
Despite the dislikes, right?
Yeah, despite the dislikes. So let's, dive into it. First one.
Ooh, can I say it?
Please.
The main dislike, hatred is playing as Abby for so flip-flopping long.
So long.
That
Too
is-
long.
Too long.
Naughty Dog, you made me play as her for what honestly felt like more of the game. I guess just more concentrated and with less scenes than with Ellie. Which I get, but it to me in so many parts it just I would have rather just been playing the game as Ellie or Abby and instead had to watch some scene pandering and trying to humanize this person I didn't want to play as to begin with. And as we said in our last segment, we predicted this. I said, and I think you said, and then you said, if they're trying to teach me a lesson,
I don't want to learn
it. And I said, Naughty Dog, I don't think this is going to work. It's mostly because I don't care. It's too little, too late. You showed me her father.
Don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. It was, I get it. It filled in some gaps with the story, and
it felt forced.
Yeah, but well, I wanted answers. I did want answers as to why. I don't care personally as far as an emotional justification to wanting to play her character, or rather not wanting Ellie to put a bullet in her head, but
quickly.
But at the same time, I did want answers. I wanted to know why. I wanted to know what was going through her thick skull at the time that she bashed Joel's in. I wanted to know more about her friends. These people that were honestly the last line of defense between her crossing over into this savage territory of just killing Joel for what honestly amounts to very little justifiable reason.
Yeah, the friends who came with her along on this journey of revenge, why would they be willing to do this? Because to us, during that moment when she was doing what she was doing to Joel, she was a monster. Yeah. What could justify such treatment of the person who literally just saved your life?
Yeah.
But then as we're playing with Abby for God knows forever, we see her with her father, like you said, don't care. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
We see her with her friends, and we see that bond that she has with her friends, her camp. You see her with me, with her dog, good old Alice, and they play fetch. And I'm like, oh, she's just like us.
But for the dog, just made me happier they were all dead.
Yeah, she still has to die at that point.
Cool. I don't feel like you've suffered enough, but I'm watching these people, a lot of them in past tense or already dead, as you're reliving the events leading up to, day 3 with Abby. So you're starting over seeing these people.
Yeah.
And I didn't care. I didn't care.
No one cared. It was like, you're giving me this event after event after event of what's happening with Abby while we're hunting her. Yeah. And all the time I'm just like, can we get back to the hunt?
Yeah.
Do I really care that she's going after Owen? Do I care that Isaac called her back to the fob? No. Do I care that she's playing fetch with Alice? Kinda, a little, because the dog is cute. But other than that, no.
The first time you see that dog is when you kill it. It's not when you see it with Abby. So and then you see it like pretty much is in the same 30 minutes. So it's, you're just like, I just killed that dog. I felt bad about it. And you'll hear, I said something. I didn't mean, I feel bad.
It was a hard kill.
Yeah.
To me, all of your dog kills were hard kills.
This one in particular was not avoidable. It's a QTE.
You have to.
It's not avoidable. You have to get to it to get through the scene. So.
Yeah. So.
But it. Nevertheless, I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel bad that Abby had lost more. The only part that I really cared to watch or play through was after you meet Lev and Yara.
Levaniel.
Yeah,
I gave him a new name.
A new name.
And he has a new place in my heart. And so does Yara.
Yeah. These people proved to be the badasses of our experience with Abby. I would have rather played with Yara.
That would have been cool.
I mean, amputee and all would have rather played as Yara.
Than Abby.
Than played as Abby, yeah.
It was that one moment where she saves their lives. Or no, excuse me. They save her life.
Yeah.
She was being strung up and dangling.
Yeah.
About to be eviscerated. And here comes Lev and Yara to save the day.
And then they cut her down while she's choking.
Yes. And immediately, all I could think of was like, well, are you going to turn your gun on them too?
Yeah.
Are you going to shoot her leg off? Are you going to bash his skull in?
String up the little bald-headed one.
Why not? You know, because this seems to be what you do.
Yep.
So
and it's crap. It's crap.
It is, because at this point you played with Abby for so long, you should be able to feel some type of, oh, maybe she's changed.
Nah, I'm just ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. Other things in the experience, not just like the actual play, the actual gameplay. Why do you give her so much stuff?
She gets all the
Naughty
stuff.
dog. Why'd you? Oh my God! It's just
all the stuff.
All the catalogs. Like, here's how you build weapons, and here's how you be so much better than Ellie.
And incendiaries.
And here's how you build more. And
you get all the nuts and bolts, all the pills, all the manuals, all the bullets, all the guns.
Better weapons.
From
the start, my handgun shoots faster. It's got more stopping power.
She gets a crossbow. Not just a regular, I gotta pull it back myself. She gets a crossbow.
Now, here's what I will say. In my honest opinion.
Oh, no, not the opinions.
I found Ellie's weapons to be faster and less damaging. But I found Abby's to be more hulking, but to be more stopping power one-shot kills. Now, the hunting pistol, I hate that gun. There's no tactical advantage to this gun. It's a breech-loading pistol. It's one shot at a time. You shoot it, you gotta pop it open, pop the old shell out, pop another one in, put it in. But
I don't know what you're talking
about. The handgun, the second handgun that Abby finds.
Okay.
It's slow, but there are many heavy infected that I finished off with this gun that it would have taken me probably 5 to 8 more well-placed headshots
with Ellie
to give me the same finality. Even with Ellie's, even with Joel's 38, still not as powerful as Abby's hunting pistol.
Or her flamethrower.
Yeah, she finds a flamethrower, but Ellie doesn't get it. It's crap. It's total crap. It's total crap. We were, by that time, I was honestly laughing out loud at how much they here's the world. Just take it, Abby.
It's all yours.
Yeah, And it got irritating. You gave me way more ammo with her, and I understand that there is in every game, especially games told in a linear fashion, and those tending to be more towards the horror survival genres. Your Resident Evils, your Evil Within. You give bullets right before big scenes, and I get that. But with Abby, I felt like everything I was about to go into was a big scene, and big scenes did not necessarily come, yet you still gave the ammo, yet you still gave the nuts and bolts, yet you still gave the upgrade pills. Why? Is what I kept asking the screen, and we really looked at each other, and we're like, we're both starting to pick up on this.
But it makes you think, Boo. Abby really had it much better than Ellie.
Yeah.
Think about it. She had her dad the entire time. 14, 15, 19 years, however old she was when we killed him. She had him. She had 4 years to think this through. She had 4 years of this camaraderie with her friends. 4 years of this training that she did on her body to build herself, to build her mind, everything. She gets all the better weapons. She gets the better dog. We didn't get a dog. We had a horse, and all of our horses ended up dead. Yep. I'm just saying. She gets a better kid.
No horse is long for this world.
We ain't get no good. Poor Shimmer.
In any,
What was the other one? Callus?
Rest in peace
to
all
Callus.
the horses, to Tommy's horse, whatever its name was, that had the nice saddlebag.
Tommy's horse.
That he just left there. Rest in peace to all the horses in this game.
All of them.
Sorry.
But yeah,
full side quest there.
It's like she gets everything.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Don't they get off on a horse? Do they survive that horse ride?
Lev and... Wait, who are we talking about?
The end escape with them. The end of the stupid side quest, as it were.
They get off on a horse. Lev and Abby, they ride off into the fieriness through hell.
Did that horse die?
I don't think he died.
Probably not. Why? Because Abby was riding it. Yeah.
It's Abby's horse.
It's crap.
While everything around her dies.
Yeah, she flourishes.
She flourishes. What is she? What is that flower that flourishes in like poo? All of them, really.
I don't know.
But yeah, that is Abby. That's why we don't like her. And even though we're playing as her for so long, we cannot kill her.
Yeah, you can't. Well, we could, and we did.
Many times. It's fun. Die.
Many times. We just for satisfaction's sake, I let her get killed. You thought you were going to put me up against Ellie, and that was going to be a one-time go-through?
That was an insult.
I failed that particular part of the game so many times.
Yeah.
Laughing.
Half the time, I was just asking, why don't you just see if you can jump that?
Is there a mod that makes the credits roll now?
I was like, hey, roll credits. But
cool, this is fine.
Just jump that cliff. I think you can make it.
There were jumps that I didn't necessarily know if I'd make. That I made it anyway. That I just took anyway.
And she just took it on the head.
And she died. Honestly, she died.
But that's another thing. It's just frustrating. In order to move forward in the game, you have to play as the person you hate the most.
Yep.
And I get they're trying to teach us that lesson. Hey, put yourself in the shoes of your enemy. I don't want to wear those shoes. And you're forcing me to wear those shoes, and I still don't want them.
And yes, but I do also think that it was necessary because to tell the entire. Could they have done it differently? Yes. Could they have not made me play as her for 10 hours straight? Please, find a way. Update this friggin' game and do cutbacks between her and Ellie. I don't care. I don't care if it's 2-hour sessions of Ellie just sleeping in the theater. I don't care. I can't. Oh my God.
That kind of hurts the replayability.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I would love to replay. Is there an Abby-less playthrough that we could earn? Could we just call it the Ellie Plus playthrough? I don't care. Something. Naughty Dog, take notes. I got ideas. But like I was saying, it's very necessary it was necessary to tell the full story. And I liked that I realized that separating the emotion out of it, you said when we were talking about this that there's 3 ways to tell a story.
Yes.
Or there's 3 ways you have to tell a story.
3 sides to the same story.
Yeah, if it's between 2 people. That's what happened to one person, person A, person B. And what happens in reality between these two people looking at outside as a person C. And as a person C, we see things in this game, and not from the emotional standpoint of like why these people are have their motives, why Ellie is going to kill Abby, why we should let Abby off the hook. No, I also mean like in the case that you round back to the aquarium, and you come back to the aquarium after Ellie is there. You come back as Abby. Several times you do this, but there's one scene in particular where it's after Yara's surgery, and you see her bandages on the table after her surgery. When we were Ellie going through there, bloodthirsty for Abby, we thought those were Abby's bandages.
Yeah.
You don't see, there's a complete picture of this game you cannot get until you experience certain parts, as many parts as possible, from the perspective of both people. That third story you get, it's devoid of emotion, it's devoid of emotive or any, anything other than just the rational, just the facts. And playing through both sides of this gives us the facts and helps me form a more complete opinion of this game, even based on my emotions. But I can't do that if I don't have all the facts. And
That's
so,
a good point.
Thank you, Naughty Dog. It is a risky move.
Next time, chop it up.
Yeah, it's risky, and I can see how it'd be divisive, honestly, and I can see how people that were as in love with this game as we were might have found it hard or even impossible to finish. But I will say by the end of it, I was glad I did.
Yes.
I was.
The fact that you pushed through, the payoff is better or well worth the playthrough.
Well, yeah.
You know?
It makes, by the end of it, you have so many questions, but again, because you have that full picture, I get to say concretely whether or not I agree with A, B, C, whoever. I get to say, we get to ask the question, is Abby justified in her killing of Joel 4 years after? Is Ellie justified in going after Abby? And here's what I'll say. We have to take it back, because this is not about Abby. This is not about even Ellie. This is about what Joel did.
Yes.
This is about what Joel did at the end of the first
Actions have
game.
consequences.
And yes, they do. But here's the thing. Let's think about the context of those actions.
Okay.
You killed, a whole wing of this hospital and her father in the name of saving this little girl. Because here's the thing: if you decided not to, if we go back on that scene from the first game, they were escorting him out. Marlene knew the danger of keeping him even in the building. She had him escorted out under armed guard.
Yes.
And it wasn't enough, because that was it, because he needed to save her.
Yeah.
If he had gone with them, he wouldn't have made it back to Jackson before she had been dead. It was the only way to get her out of that building still alive.
True.
That's why he did it. So, you went after him 4 years after he killed your father. Your father's already dead. You didn't save anyone in killing him. You didn't save anyone. You damn sure didn't cure the world. You didn't do anything by killing him. You just sated your vengeance. That's it. That's it. You and I will go back to killing this little girl who it was never proven was going to save the human race, and it was never.
It was a hunch.
Yeah, and it was barely provable that the human race was still savable
or worth saving.
Yeah, would finding a cure, would it turn all the lights on? Would it put all the satellites back in space?
Nope.
What would it have done? Nothing. There wasn't a world to honestly really save or fully even slightly restore. So why kill her? And you took it upon yourself. I think that's crap, frankly. And so in response to, is Abby justified? No. Once I have that full picture and now I have it, I can say no.
No.
And is Ellie justified in going after Abby? Well, here's what I have to say. It all goes back to Joel's act, right? Mm-hmm. Killing in the name of a man who saved you in righteous form. Good go. but I have to say we talked about this, and as it goes only as far as Seattle trip 1.
Okay.
Leaving again after JJ and after establishing a home with Dina.
Yes.
Too far.
But before you get to there, is Ellie's quest for vengeance worth all the bodies she left in her wake?
Yes, because I
even in a world where humanity is the endangered species.
Yes. These people proved what were they going, what positivity in the world would they have perpetuated, proving that they were perfectly willing to go across the country to kill one man under the auspices of a friend getting screwed over. What did they prove as human beings? What did they prove afterwards? Nothing. They proved loyalty to themselves. Did you watch these people save one innocent person the entire game?
No, they were killing them all.
They killed them all. Did you watch these people help any strangers? No.
They killed them.
You see Joel and Tommy do this in the first 2 hours of the game.
That's true, because anyone that's not Wolf gets a bullet in the head.
Exactly.
Or they get caught up and they're interrogated.
We see this, and you
tortured.
see,
right.
and I will, and though it's too late, even Abby saving is you see the person she works for, Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't care. He didn't care. He's about to put a bullet through a child's face.
Or through his number one's face.
Yeah, or through his number one lieutenant's face. Doesn't care.
Nope,
These
right.
people are terrible. I don't care. I didn't care about killing any of them. It's unfortunate what happened to Mel. She was a medic. She was pregnant. But you know what? You chose your side.
She chose to be there as
You
well.
were also pregnant when Joel got killed.
She was there.
Yeah.
She was there for it.
Yeah.
She was there for the journey.
Manny, I appreciate your humor and I appreciate your brevity, but you spit on my boy. You spit on him after he's dead.
After he was dead.
Yeah, go. Saw you get a bullet through your face. Didn't care. I can run down literally all of these people because you know what? Not one of them stopped to save
a life.
Save a life the entire game.
Except, wait. Abby's life was saved by Yara and Lev.
Yes, yeah, and I'll say, and it's even an extension into, did Mel and Owen help Yara and Lev? Yes, but that was at Abby's insistence, and Abby is the one special case here who they're trying to humanize. But, sorry, she was a piece of crap along with all the others in the beginning of the game, which fails to justify any saving grace she might have.
I see what you're saying. I 100% agree with you. That lesson... not lost on me.
Yeah.
But what about after the time jump? After little JJ is born, you see that they're an established family. They're apart from Jackson, trying to make it on Dina and Ellie, by the way.
Yeah.
Trying to make it on their own. And then enters, praise God, Tommy. And he's back. We see
alive.
that he's survived and we can all breathe. But we also have to gasp knowing that Tommy has not let it go.
Yeah, and it's really insidious in him at this point. And that, here's what I'll say. The same reason I think Tommy's wrong at that point, because, and you start to see it, in my opinion, you start to see it when she has a gun on him. When you come back and you're coming back to the theater as Abby and things are reaching full circle, you have them in a standoff, and Tommy doesn't care if he lives or dies. He doesn't care if Ellie lives or dies. He literally just says, "No, shoot her. She's a gun to my head. Shoot her. She has a gun to your face. Shoot her. I don't care." And you realize it then. You really see it come to full form, in the after effects, and when he comes back at the house, he's missing. His eye is
He's
gone.
Scarred. He's limping.
It looks like crap. You
can see, his marriage has suffered.
Yeah, because it's
tremendously.
taken him over. And there has to be a certain point. Dina makes such a good point. She says just before Ellie leaves, and she decides to leave again and go. Mm-hmm. She says she doesn't get to be more important than us. And there's a certain point where it stopped becoming about Joel. It stopped becoming about Joel because did you need to kill her? Yes. But did you cause her pain? Yes.
She suffered.
Are you living your life to its fullest?
Yes.
In spite of causing her all this pain? that she ain't gonna recover from up here, you know? Yes. So she, at that point, it became not meaningless, but it became less important. It became less meaningful than just staying it out. You didn't need to go after him.
It became pointless.
Not pointless,
Well,
just not
I
as...
say pointless because she does have she's gone after her vengeance.
Yeah, you killed everybody she
killed
ever loved.
everybody in that circle. Yes,
Literally.
did Ellie get her butt handed to her in that fight? Yes, Dina almost died. Tommy almost died. Jesse, dead. So there's pain and suffering on both sides. Now that there's this time jump, you see that life has been brought into this world.
Yeah.
You are now trying to raise that life and grow and build. So now this vengeance has become petty and pointless.
Yeah.
In comparison to what you have now.
And it's arriving at that point that we have to ask ourselves, are we being petty at this point? Like, are we when we have so much to lose, is going back out after her, is it being petty? And
when you're saying petty, are you talking about we as the player?
Her.
Or her.
Maybe we are, maybe we're not, as ourselves, you know, as people, me and you. Are we being petty? For her, I definitely think, but us looking at Abby as a person, does she still need to die? Yes. I just wish Ellie wasn't the one going to do it.
I think, because is Ellie being petty? I don't know, because remember, she does have PTSD from the event. She can't sleep. She's not eating. Does she need closure?
She wants her life back. So on that note, I get it.
Are we, as the viewer, being petty? I am. Because I've learned no lesson. I told you from the beginning I didn't want to learn it.
So you're not satisfied with the ending.
I am not satisfied. I'm like a child putting their hands in there, go la 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 la. I don't want it. Delete it.
So you deleted. So you're not satisfied with the ending.
Not, because even in the end, Abby is still taking, or still took from Ellie. You know, took her fingers. So now she can no longer play the guitar that binds her and Joel so close together. She was supposed to teach little JJ how to play that guitar. Maybe even have a ghost moment with Dina and try to play the guitar with her. I don't know. All that has been stolen again from Ellie, from this one woman.
Yeah.
So now I'm not satisfied.
And
what?
Do I understand the reasons why she spared Abby? I do.
You're a better person than I am.
I'm not satisfied with it, but I understood it. And here's the thing. Not until, and going back into having that complete picture and telling that complete story, not until literally that last scene do you see... not the last scene when she's choking out Abby and about to kill her. Finally. And you'll hear us be like, okay, it's got to happen now. This is it.
It has to.
It's time to die. And we see this scene flash through her head, and we don't know what it means. And then you watch the last scene of the game. And this is where it comes back to having that complete picture, is we see that Joel's last lesson to Ellie. And at first, it seemed when we finally saw the dance going back, when we finally saw the dance... scene, and we see her say, I don't need your help anymore. And we thought that those were the last words that she said to him before
the incident,
watching him die. And it was tough to get through. And then you're sped up, really to the way things are and to the full reality, and you have that full picture when you really beat the game, and you see this last scene where Joel's final lesson to Ellie is teaching her how to forgive. And two very special and powerful things happen in this moment. He says, if I could do it all over again, I'd do it.
No regrets.
No regrets. And he says it straight up, and he doesn't stammer once. And the second thing that we see, and so you going again first, it's all about Joel's act. Mm-hmm. This whole driving force in this is because of the ending of the first game, and we see that resolution with Joel. We see it, even seeing what it did to Ellie, the truth of it, and what it might have done to their relationship. He sits there and he says, and then you see that. And he's not saying, if I could do it all over again, if I could meet you all over again in Boston, if I could take you across the country. He's also adding on, if I could come back here and a couple years later, after I've given you everything and you hate me for it. And knowing that, and if I could watch you, blossom into this woman and know that I might lose you in my life, I would have done it anyway. And you get to see that resolution with Joel. And for it, he's rewarded with the second thing, is Ellie learning forgiveness. I can't see ever forgiving you for this, but I would like to try. And I have to believe that the reason why that scene went through her head when she's so close to killing this person, is because that same lesson echoed through her brain. She'd already experienced it, and we get a fuller picture because at the beginning you're like, no, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Drown her. What are you doing?
That was me.
And then you get back, and you all this goes through your head, and all this, and her seeing Abby hung up there, and her letting her live and letting Lev go with them, even before she chooses to fight her the last time. She's like, I'm not going to deny you, saving this kid. Mm-hmm. But you really see that there's a lesson learned there for me. And that, can I be satisfied with the ending? Yeah, I can be. And it in my opinion, it once you achieve that full picture, that was the lesson here. That was the point of this game. It was, and it really changes your perspective a little bit, or at least you understand how it tries to. I'll say that. Was my perspective fully changed? No. But I saw what you were trying to do, and it leveled the playing field in certain aspects.
I have to let that marinate for a little bit. Holy cow. You're right. But wow. I got to think on that. That I don't know if it's changing my mind, but it's allowing me to think a little bit
Melting
deeper.
that fury away, fam. See? With my wisdom.
It's helping me, I guess, to dig a little deeper and look a little deeper past the anger and past the rage to what they were trying to do. And God, I hate you. Because when you really think about it. Movie or game one, the driving force was love. The love that they were building together as possible father and daughter, that type of relationship. The love that carried them across the country, that he killed for her, in the end, and then was willing to lie about it. But then in the end, the truth is always going to come to the light. Mm-hmm. So love was that driving force, their love and that bond. Conversely, in this game, hatred was the driving force. Hatred was his own character. If you really think about it.
Oh gosh, yes.
Hatred was the
has
driving
to be
character,
said.
the driving force of this game. But when you look at it the way you just put it, and it just clicked in my head, love trumps all. God, I hate learning lessons when my vengeance hasn't been stated, because, geez, even in death, he's teaching her that forgiveness, albeit hard, is the lesson. It's the victory.
Yeah.
God.
For me, and it all goes back, because I've said several times this segment. I've said several times this segment is, it's all about Joel's act. It's all about Joel's act, and we have to, and even getting slightly out of that is so when she has her hands on Abby's throat, and it's do or die time, literally, and that flash goes through her head, mm-hmm. You realize Joel wouldn't have wanted this.
I know. Yeah.
And you do we know that going through this whole thing? Probably, yeah, but it's not for the reasons we think. It's because he doesn't want Ellie to be put at risk. That's the only reason. Not because there's a moral story here. There's a lesson to be learned here ethically. But it comes through, and she's like, I got to learn this lesson, and I owe it to Joel to show him through this. And it's the best way possible. I think we can all agree on that.
That she's learned and that she's grown.
Yeah. And that's the best way you pay him back for saving your life, is you live your life. You live your life.
Dang it.
And
jeez, that makes so much. That's a really good point.
And if it took to where, and maybe that point in her is where she found her peace, where she started getting good flashbacks of Joel, and maybe to where the reason she gave Dina, like, I gotta go do this has messed up my head, and maybe it took that point to unmess her head up, to rewire her and restart. But it was only that far. That was as far as she needed to go.
But she had to get to that.
Yeah, by whatever means. But once that, the takeaway from that is this is one last way to honor Joel. So why would I not? And that, putting that aside from her loss and putting her love for Joel, like you said, love trumps all. Mm-hmm. Love Joel enough to let you go, and I really want you dead.
God, we could have left her to die.
That's how we honor Joel.
At the hands of the Santa Barbarians.
Yeah, man.
By the way, come on, you kind of missed out on that opportunity.
Yeah, the Rattlers. I would have called them the
Santa Barbarians.
Yeah, the Barbarians. Yeah, it was because Santa Barbara, not a particularly rough place as California.
I didn't think it was.
Regions go. It's just kind of not. It's it's like the Bay Area.
I know, right? Go to the beach, skateboard. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely a cool part with the Rattlers there. That was an interesting bring in late in the game.
Super late. It was just like more.
But I will say you showed me love, because I kept thinking the whole time, are we gonna be able to play? Are we gonna be able to play as Ellie again and it really matter? Boy, did it. Did you make up for all the times you screwed me over and gave Abby just literally the world?
No.
Plus extra bullets? No, but you did give Ellie the most powerful gun in the game. And it has a suppressor on it. Yeah, and it has a suppressor on it, and it's fully automatic.
But you didn't get enough bullets.
And I did not need to upgrade this gun, at all.
No.
Yeah, you kept my bullets stringent.
They didn't give you Abby bullets.
No, you didn't. Abby, you nerfed the bullets on the Abby gun that you gave me. Man, whatever.
That'll work.
But it was nice to play as her again, and you brought it together, Naughty Dog, and it was a beautiful ride. It's an amazing journey. And
agreed.
Yeah, so now we got to get final thoughts of review. And we've given our final thoughts, honestly. So I'm gonna give my number. But first, I want my beautiful co-host to do so first.
Crud.
Gotta go.
Okay. So, as an observer, and I see this game as a movie, I was thoroughly entertained. Was it worth my money? Yep. Was it worth my time? Yes. Controversies aside, because I didn't read up on too much of any of them, did it give me that sense of difference? Yes. Well, you have, a female body type that is this big, buff, hulking, beautifully buffed Abby, and she just being who she is and living her best life.
Her buff life.
I hate you. That was good, though. That was good. Living her buff life. I did enjoy that. And that was a stark contrast between her, Ellie's body type as well. And it's just like, women come in beautiful shapes and sizes.
And some of them can fire shotguns without falling down.
This is true.
Yes.
You gave me Lavaniel, who is in my heart for life now. Lev, by the way, for those who didn't catch that. So my review, is this out of 10? Out of 10. All right. So I'm going to take off some points for playing as Abby, having you watch this Abby for so long, because that did drag on. But I'm going to give it a solid 9.85.
Wow.
Even though I hated you having to play as Abby, the game touched my heart. it still resonates within me. I still think about it. I still, even just now while we're discussing this, you brought up a good point that helped highlights and change my mind on some things. Love trumps all. The forgiveness was the final lesson. Those are all, keys of really good games.
And it made us talk. Makes you think outside after the game's over.
Yes.
9.85, okay. 9. Solid 9.
9.
Solid 9. My only problem in this game was how long I had to play as Abby. Not that I had to. Just how long and the capacity in which I had to all at once. You didn't vary it up. You didn't a little bit, a little bit of a break. Let me play as Lev. Something.
Ooh, that would have been nice.
I would have limped around as Yara for 2 hours and been fine with it, but
rest in peace.
And so it cost you a whole point, Naughty Dog, but that goes big with me because otherwise this game is a masterpiece. It really is. It will make you think. It will make you talk. It will make you change.
It's gonna make you question your own ideals.
Yeah. And so that was, I have to say, bold move, Naughty Dog. Mm-hmm. Ballsy. And it's not lost on us how divisive this game could be in nature, and how risky it is to put this game out. But you did it, and it finally came out, and we're better for it. So thank you. Yeah. My review score 9.85. Do your average. We arrived squarely at go buy the friggin' thing and play it. Because it's worth it.
Facts.
Thank you so much for joining us through this. All the way here to the finale.
Yeah.
And we're still running. Our next game, next week's game, will be our startup of Ghost of Tsushima.
I can honestly say I'm not going to play a minute of it.
I mean, I'm going to be playing for all of this, but it should be interesting. She lived in Japan for a long time. I like swords. We'll meet in the middle. We'll see what happens. So hopefully we'll see you there, fam.
Yes.
I'm Ointment Fly.
And I'm Summernosuke.
In the meantime, stay perky.
And keep on grinding. Bye.